It is once again past midnight for Tuesday, December 16th. Um, I actually had like a really productive day. Like I did get out of bed at 1:30. Um, I I did wake up at 1:30, I probably should say. I could have slept actually a lot longer. But um today I like did some shopping, got a flu shot and COVID booster, which is sore right now. I went to the gym, but I did some shopping, and one of my well, I got my sister a gift. These little she wears these bracelets on her wrist, and she has like gold colored ones, and ones that have like white pearls on them. They're not that expensive. They're like $16 each, but some were there that were like gold and a little bit of blue. Gold, a little bit of gold and a lot of blue, and then gold, blue, and has that white little opal, wait, pearl type of thing. And I was like, oh, that could be a really cool gradient. And I know she's talked about how she wants a lot more jewelry to wear, so I think that was a really cool gift. But one of my favorite places to go downtown in my town is that there's this art gallery, and um, I still firmly believe that our house needs a lot more painting, and I love going in there because it's always so beautiful. There's always so many things that are so beautiful, and it's really interesting to look in there in perspective of like asking myself, why do I like this? Why do I think this is cool? And like some of them, it's like I'm in love with this color scheme. Like the my favorite color scheme right now is the cover of the Porter Robinson Worlds album, that like pink and like light blue that's kind of coming off, it's at dusk, and it's I love the color scheme, and there's a couple paintings in there that have that color scheme, and it's so beautiful. But then there's a couple that are like really creative, like having embroidered mushrooms come out of a photograph, but then it's embroidered mushrooms that are 3D, or it's this copper, like this painting that is on a copper like plated canvas, and the copper is not painted, but they paint white and black, so it looks like you're walking through a birch forest, but the birch is copper colored. It's beautiful. And just a bunch of other paintings that are gorgeous, and it's in some of them I'm looking and I'm like, I always look at it in the context of where can I put this in our house. And so some of them I'm like, this is beautiful, but this can never fit in our house. It's not the same style. Like there's this one that kind of had that rainbow sheen you get when looking through like a bubble, and it looked gorgeous. I loved the colors, but there is nowhere in our house that could work, which is really unfortunate. But there's like a bunch of them. There's this one really beautiful painting that reminds me a lot of like the 70s kind of graphic style of like golfing in a way, but it just reminds me of my grandparents. But it's just a picture of these people sitting underneath a waterfall, letting the water fall over them, and it's there. Like you look far away and it looks very detailed, but as you get closer and closer, you can tell that there's like a lot of detail, but with minimal brush strokes, and it looks it's fascinating to me because that art style doesn't fit everywhere within the context of a painting. But when you look at that painting, because the water and the waterfall is smeared as if taking like a long exposure photograph, these people in the photo in the painting are a little bit smeared as well, so like it fits within the style, and it's cohesive and it's beautiful. But there's actually one painting that I absolutely loved. I saw it 2 years ago with my sister when we were probably during Christmas time. We were just walking downtown getting gifts, and I always loved just to go in there and look around. And it was this beautiful black and white oil painting, I think, and it was a winter painting. It was a little cabin in the woods with these like towering trees, and it's only painted in white and black and gray tones, and it was beautiful. It was like subtle with its imagery. It was you like I love the use of just minimal colors, yet you can see like this tree has had a lot of snow, and the snow is stuck to the to the branches, and it's kind of sagging, and there's this quaint little cabin in off to the side, and you see the snow everywhere, and it was gorgeous. And I would love to have bought that photo. It was, I mean, I don't have the money for it. Like paintings are expensive, but I knew exactly where I want to put it. We have a stairwell where we just kind of have like this temporary like canvas. We actually when one of the hotels was getting renovated, they started selling some of their decor from the hotel rooms, and we bought it just because we needed something to hang somewhere. And so it's up in our stairwell. But and I would say this would only be a winter photograph. I wouldn't hang it any other time, but it was so beautiful because you walk up the stairs, and since we're in the mountains, we get a lot of snow. So if you look out the window, you see this white snow everywhere. The trees covered in snow, the ground, and then when you go up the stairs, you see that reflected on the wall, and it would look beautiful. And the duality of, or not the duality, like the parody of both of them would have been beautiful. I'm very, very frustrated that I didn't get that because it was so gorgeous. But that kind of leads me into another thing I want to say is that there are two type of things that when I get enough money, I would gift to probably well, I would probably gift my significant other because I would want to see it all the time too. But there would be two things. It would be a painting of or four paintings within one frame, and it's the same view over different seasons. And I think that's a really cool kind of photograph to have. I think it could be a photograph, but I also love a painting, commissioning somebody for that. But another thing that I would think, like, if this would be if like I had money, um, would be to find a place in a house where, like, if it's my parents' house, something where they need a painting. And what I would do is I would give them uh four paintings, one for each season, and I would tell them, all right, so this is gonna you're gonna rotate it. When you feel that it's the start of a new season, you put that new painting in, and I would say I would get them four paintings, and I would say rotate them through. This is not four paintings to just show. This would be four to rotate through, and it would be completely different paintings. It wouldn't be the same view over different times. It would fit like it would. I would love to have that white painting I talked about earlier, but then like a spring painting of somewhere else, like of a I always when I think of spring, I think of like a girl sitting underneath a tree with a spring with like a little small creek washing by where like she's reading a book. Like that's what I think of spring or even summer. But then fall is one of these views that I absolutely love is when the trees are still in full peak fall, but then the peaks of the mountain are above the frost line. I would love that. Um, and a bunch of other like different things that you could get, but um, uh, that would be a really really cool idea. And I'm gonna go to bed now because it is 1:40 in the morning, and I still do want to watch the new episodes of One Piece. But yeah, I get I really like interior design when I live in the space because I get to appreciate it. Like when I did redid my room, I love my room because I made it the way I wanted to make it. And so if I had control over paintings and stuff like that, it would be so cool because and I could pick out some things that would fit in contexts and you change them and it's beautiful and I would have a repertoire of things. I would never be like those art snobs that get something because it is pricey. You get something because it fits the space and it's beautiful. And like that painting that I mentioned earlier, that white one, for its size, it was only $600. And only is the correct term to use in that situation because paintings are expensive. That's what it is. They're always going to be expensive. And $600 for a painting of that size and to what I thought was beautiful is a steal. I just don't have the money at that point. So eventually, when I get older, I will have an amazing looking house.